Hey friends, welcome to One Flight Down. Welcome to the Terry Isle Tasting Lounge. Today we are checking out not one, but two beers that come to me courtesy of a friend's travels out of Stratford, Ontario. These beers come from the Black Swan Brewing Company. All right, Black Swan Brewing, Stratford, Ontario. Never had anything from this brewery before, so I'm very excited about this. Big shout out to my buddy Matt, who was down in Stratford checking out the iconic Stratford Theatre Festival a couple weeks ago, and he was kind enough to pick up a couple of beers for me. Thanks so much, Matt. I always appreciate whenever anyone thinks of me and thinks of this show when they're hitting up breweries on their travels. It's just so cool. I've never tried anything from this brewery before. I've never heard of this brewery before. Apparently there are 3 breweries in Stratford, Ontario. Stratford is it's like southern Ontario, smaller town. I think it's like 30,000 people, but it's a very touristy town. And the main draw there, of course, is the iconic Stratford Theatre Festival, which has been going on since like the 1950s. I think it started out as strictly a Shakespearean theater festival. They've expanded to do other things now. I think that's still the main focus, but there's a little more to it than that now. And there are 3 breweries in that town, and Matt picked up 2 beers from one of them from me. The first of them, I don't know which one I'm going to do first, but the one I'm holding in my hand, it's an IPA, comes in at 6.5%. So let's let our classic West Coast IPA remind you of why you fell in love with that style in the first place. Pine and citrus aroma leads exquisitely into a dry and bitter thirst-quenching experience. Migrate back to the classic's 65 IBUs, and yeah, that's about what it tells me, just the location of the brewery and everything. And then this one is an English Pale Ale. The English Pale Ale comes in at 5% alcohol. It doesn't give any other details. It's a pretty sparse can. So just judging by the way these are packaged, I would say that this is one of their core pours, and this would be like a small batch release. I did check out their website a few minutes ago, and did see this one was on their menu currently in their tap room, and this was not. So I'm quite sure that that's what the deal is. So I think I'm going to do the IPA first, just because it is a core pour. It seems like the right place to start. Normally I'd go like lower alcohol to higher, but I think I want to do core pour first. So I'm just going to shaklook this. Try to shaklook it anyway. There we go. And pour this into my Bandit Brewing glass. Bandit Brewing out of Toronto, Ontario. Trying to keep some Ontario glasses going for this video. So pouring out like a very nice classic West Coast IPA. It's got a little of that like sort of golden, almost coppery kind of a color. You're not seeing much phase through that, but it's also like a lot of condensation on the glass. Like you can see like some movement behind there and stuff. So it's not like super clear, but not a hazy IPA, which, might be, well, no, this is an English Pale Ale, so, but that still might be closer to that style. But yeah, your hazies, your New England, your Eastern IPAs are more of that sort of like that cloudy, hazy, juicy kind of thing. And yeah, this promises more of a citrusy and piney kind of an experience. It's got a nice, very pillowy head. And some good lacing going on there. I'm going to get a nose on this. I'm not getting a lot on the nose, to be honest. A little bit of a citrusy note. Okay, now I'm starting to get some of that like, sort of resiny kind of a note you get with a West Coast IPA. Like a bit of that pine. Yeah, it's coming through. Like the more I smell it, the more I'm getting out of that. But yeah, it's not like hitting you in the face like some beers do. All right, I'm gonna go in for a sip. Cheers, my friends. That is really, really nice. It's got a really crisp bite on the end. It's got a nice sort of smooth mouthfeel at the beginning. Like I'd say like a lighter to medium to light body. But there's just like a smoothness to the mouthfeel. And then like right at the end, you start to get a little bit of that zippy sort of the tingle on the tongue and everything. Yeah, it's very, very refreshing. It is a bit dry on the back end, but that's fine. And yeah, it's what I say it was 6.5%. Yeah, like you could fool someone to thinking this is actually even a little bit lighter than that. That is a solid, tasty beer. Yeah, I really, really like this one. So this again was the Black Swan IPA. All right, moving on to the next one. And yeah, that was a solid IPA. No complaints about that at all. The only negative thing I would say is if you are someone who does not like a dry finish on your beer, that might not be for you. But I really like that. I found it really tasty and quite refreshing. It was quite nice. So now we're going to move on to the... Oh, and by the way, another part of the gift was these cool Black Swan coasters that were picked up for me. They'll probably find their way like up there in the office space at some point in time. So as I said, this next one is an English Pale Ale. And the only information it says on the can, other than like the name of the brewery and everything, is that it is 5% ABV. So we're going to crack into this. And let's see here, I'm going to use this glass, this Wishbone glass, another Ontario brewery. I think this glass came to me from Brew over at Beer for Breakfast, Facts for Snacks. Pretty darn sure. If I got that wrong, correct me, but pretty sure, Drew, that you got this one for me. All right, so let's check out the color on this. This is darker than the previous one. More on the coppery side too. The other one's more gold with a touch of a sort of coppery kind of thing. But this is like a nice coppery feel, almost amber. It's still not clear. You're not like seeing face through that or anything. You could probably see like a shadow of my finger, and just a nice off-white head. All right, let's get the nose on this. You know, really not getting much on the nose. I had that with the last one a bit. Yeah, I'm picking up maybe just a touch of a maltiness on the nose. That's about it. Yeah, there's not a whole lot on the nose, but it looks really good. And yeah, I guess the next thing I gotta do is get it and taste it. Cheers, everybody. That is very smooth. Almost a creaminess to it. You said English style, right? English Pale Ale. It does remind me a lot of like beers I had in England, in the UK. I'm surprised it's 5%. Because it feels like a lot of those British beers come in like under 5, and that's like, it reminds me of that. It's got that kind of feel to it. Yeah, but it still comes in at 5%. But yeah, it's very sort of creamy mouthfeel compared to the last beer. yeah, like more of a medium body, right? A slight bit more of a body to this, and yeah, just a creaminess. It doesn't leave that sort of tingly feeling in the mouth. It's more just like a smooth, mellow kind of a beer. I'm not getting like big, like sort of hoppy notes out of this, which like sometimes you get with a pale ale, but this is a little more dialed back. But I guess, yeah, it's English style, and it does fit in with that really, really nicely. If you like English kind of beers, that kind of mellower, like almost like a bitter, like an English bitter more than a pale ale. But it's mellow. This is the kind of thing I think you could drink. A good session beer. Like I could see myself sitting and drinking this for a little while. Like just kind of spend an afternoon out on the deck, like 3 or 4 of these. There's a touch more sweetness to this one. But yeah, it's a solid beer altogether. Both were really, really good. If I had to pick one I preferred over the other, I think it would still be this IPA, just because it's almost like just a perfect example of just what a good classic West Coast IPA should be like. Absolutely perfect. That's such a good beer. But not to say anything bad about this one. Also really, really good. Something I could drink a lot of, something I could sit and have a few of. Which I can't say for a lot of beers. I'm like one and done, right? Like a lot of the more kind of wild flavors that are out there, the fruited sours and some of the Deepas and triple IPAs, and like you get into some of like the milkshake IPAs, some of that kind of stuff. Like I are generally one and done. And this is a beer I could sit and drink all day. So I really like this. I really got to get out to Stratford sometime. I don't know if I always want to check out the theater festival, but to add in a few breweries on top of that just makes that even more appealing to me. So Matt, thank you so much for getting these beers to me. I really appreciate that. Beer gifts are like the best gifts, are beer gifts. And to the rest of you, thank you so much for dropping by the Terry Isle Tasting Lounge. We'll see you all again real soon. Cheers, my friends.